Does anybody do crazy ass character reveals better than this show? Probably not. And I think I've identified the reason why that happens. Because they have so many episodes. Like, if you're telling a 3 hour story and you introduce two characters in the first hour, you get to the third hour and there's some mysterious figure. Well, it's going to be one of these two people you introduced earlier because we know how story works. That's why he subverted recently when there's this guy, you harmed him, and we're not showing his face. And all of us, I'm sure I wasn't the only person that was going through every person they ever met that's still alive and uncaptured, right? I even thought it might be Arlong, right? Like, we were mentally going through everybody. And it turned out he subverted that because it was nobody. Like, it was nobody we'd ever met before. But it still kind of made sense, even though it's a gag. So he subverted that to perfection. But also, because we've had 400 episodes, because we've had so many goddamn characters, there's no way you can keep in mind everything. You know, if this was a 3 hour movie, and Gold Roger was there, and nobody would ever think of, like, maybe you might think maybe Gold Roger is alive. Nobody would think, well, what about the second in command, right? Like, so this isn't quite that, but they've had other situations where, like, they've had characters come back after a long time. But I would say nobody would even associate it. Maybe it's something to do with Gold Roger. You would never think of it because we've had 400 episodes. We've had 5,000 characters. And that's how you're able to do this so beautifully, so masterfully, because he takes so long between introduction and reveal. There's no way to hell. But then once you get to reveal, you remember. Like the whale thing. That's a perfect example. Nobody was thinking about the goddamn whale. But the second it's brought up, you remember it, and it hits really hard. It's just this this author and this show are masters at this. They're incredibly good at it. That's why it kind of sucks. Apparently, the live action series revealed the thing with Garp in the first season. There's just no patience in Hollywood. There's no patience in short form storytelling. That's why none of this stuff ever really hits that hard. So I am excited that, I'm sure there's going to be more of this coming forward in the future. But I think this show has nailed the formula to perfection. But nobody else can really duplicate the formula because you're not going to have 1,000 episodes. There will never be, and think about this, there will never be another manga that lasts this long. There will never be another anime that lasts this long, ever. Naruto approached what? Half of this? If we take out all the filler from both series, right? They had a total of what? 500 episodes, maybe, if you take out all the filler? Half. And that's a long series. So, nobody's gonna. This will never happen again. We are watching history take place here. This will never happen again. There will never be maybe you can have a group of like 6 people who are writing a manga who could produce something like this over this amount of time, and one of them takes off a year every 6 years. One of them takes off a year. That's the only way you could duplicate this. That's the kind of genius we're talking about here with the author. But we're not going to keep kissing his ass. Everybody knows how I feel. I just think it's really cool. What a great reveal. All right, we're going on one. 3, 2, 1. Well, shit. Apparently he has powers, by the way. He must have a fruit power of some sort for him to, like, give that guy a heart attack, right? If that's the case, though, how do you get captured? Yeah, speaking of Garb, we don't really need to close up of mouths eating. Thank you very much, and please stop. You need to execute this son bitch. I'm sure he's got a death sentence on him, doesn't he? The Dark King. That is embarrassing. That's what I'm saying. Like, how did this even happen, right? We ain't doing shit. What kind of game is he playing? He's working something from the inside. So he lost and sold himself, huh? And then once he they pay for him. Yeah, that is the problem. Once they pay him, then he will break out, right? So I guess that's the plan. Get sold off, take the money, and then break out. So it's once a month. That's why the place is so crowded. That makes sense. This asshole. Can't wait for him to get his face caved in. Yeah, f you. I always thought him as like a harmless kind of Ryan Seacrest type. Not a good person, but whatever. But he showed his true colors. There's a big guy there. These people are the effing worst, obviously. Stop talking. Wow. These voiceover actors are so good, man. They're both selling it, the horribleness, right? They're both selling it great. They let him keep his drink. I guess you better not try to take it away from him, right? Musician, huh? Too bad, we already got one. He's your own personal iPod. Don't ask what that is. Quit dancing. He doesn't look 25. Oh, okay. I thought you had gray hair for some reason. Yeah, these berries are, they cost more than the bounties. I guess the bounty is just really a classification scenario. Like, you could buy and sell Luffy for that amount. I'd be afraid to beat these. I would be afraid, like, you scratch your nose and then they say you bid. You have to hold up the card, right? But like, Hollywood has convinced me you just have to like do an involuntary shudder and all of a sudden you bought something, right? How dare you? You're out of your mind. Pressed. Sold to the horrible person in the back. We got enough evil grins to go around. We can start a collection. Oh, I see. I got you. I see. That's why I was like, why are they showing us this? They're showing us this, so we can see what the game is. So that what that tells me is somebody's going to get bid on. Somebody we care about is going to get bid on. The girl, I guess. They have money. The easiest way, the cleanest way would be just to buy her, right? 3 cigarettes. He really is nervous, isn't he? Jesus. I think I misunderstood. It was 500,000 berries, not 500 million berries. I thought they were saying 480 million berries before, right? That's why I was talking about it being more than Luffy. That makes sense. It was half a million berries instead of half a billion berries, essentially. Hey, math ain't my strong suit. But that makes a hell of a lot more sense. I was like, the economy wasn't adding up in my head. A generic slave being worth 480 million berries didn't make any sense. So that was why I was confused. Boisterous is the word that comes to mind. Well, they really love the up close mouth shots in this series, don't they? Jesus. Kick his ass. This is how they know for sure. Gotcha. Dude, slow down. You're supposed to enjoy your drinking. Dumbass. The fact they can keep in contact with each other makes this is the best version of them splitting up because they can report to each other. I can't believe Zoro's going to show up here. Assuming even if he knows it's number one, can he actually follow that? Probably not. He'll probably show up at the ship, right? That'll be subverting that expectation. I have a feeling that's what they're going to do. All the time we'll be thinking Zoro's going to show up, right? Because they keep saying number one. And he'll show up at the ship and he'll be like, wait a minute, this ain't where I was supposed to be. But then he'll see the ship, right? Great. Don't make me kick your ass. Oh boy, you guys are in trouble, man. I'm a pirate hunter. What what part of that name makes you think that this is good, right? This is a good choice. Where's my brains? I didn't even see what he did. That's how fast he is, right? A 10 pack, huh? Well, you better get there before she gets bought. They save him for last because they want people to sit through the whole thing, right? Right, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. Slow and steady wins the race. I mean, this was the most obvious place if you think about it, if you know all the details, right? Hope he doesn't mean literally crash in this place, by the way. Fancy meeting you here. What? Did you go to the wrong place? Apparently, you went to the wrong place. Oh, well, okay. That's what he's mad about? That's weird. Dumbass. I thought for a second he showed up at like Grove 11 or something. That's why Sanji was mad. Slow the hell down. Never gonna happen. Not with Captain America here, right? In the interest of full disclosure, I've already seen the rest of this episode. I'll explain why in the character corner, which I've also already recorded. It's a nightmare. Don't worry about it. It's annoying, but yeah, I've seen the rest of this. So now I'm just going to be looking for details I might have missed, right? That's the only benefit of doing this twice. They kind of high road him a little bit. Like it's a little over the top. But I think in a show like this, you have to establish we are not endorsing what's going on here. Also, these feel like the kind of people who would be pissed off by something like this. If you think about it, think about who these people are, each one individually. I don't think any of them would be okay with something like this. And nobody's okay with it, but like, what I mean is, these are the kind of people who'd be pissed off about something like this. We all have the things that piss us off. There's so much. Oh, I love what they're doing here, by the way. Like the government's in on it. They're being paid off. That's really good world building there. Really good world building. I'm going to blow your face off. One thing I mentioned the first time I saw this was that it's very rare for this show to say that violence is not the answer. Because in this show, violence is always the answer, right? So I like the wrinkle that violence is not the answer in this case. I also mentioned I love when she goes dark eyes. When Nami goes dark eyes, she's about to do something radical. Get off him. We should level this place to the effing ground. This was an incredible moment here, by the way. I hate that you can see my first reaction was over the top. I could not believe she said this. So I hate that we won't see it, but you know. I'm actually going to dig into my pocketbook for another human being. Like, I was like, what the actual hell? This is grim, man. Like, we got these big badass pirates who are terrified. That's grim as hell. So we got the giant, we got the mermaid, and Silver are the only characters we know anything about that are still here. Not many are left. Sedating. But yeah, the idea that the Navy is just basically turning a blind eye to this is kind of crazy. Because at some point, I don't remember if they've already said this or if they will say it. It's taboo across the entire world, right? Like, this is not kosher anywhere in the world, which is interesting from a storytelling point of view. Oh, this is a great line from this dude over here. Like, crazy bastard, yeah. And we all want to know how much of a crazy bastard he is. She will kick your ass in chess. This is messed up, man. But like, you know, we all have the things like everything in the world's horrible. There's like 500 things in the world we can say, "Wow, that sucks. This is messed up. This sucks." We can't possibly, as human beings, care about all those things. Like maybe you care about climate change, but you know, human trafficking doesn't piss you off because, like, you know, for whatever reason. But maybe human trafficking pisses you off, but you don't have the mental energy for climate change. You know what I'm saying? You can't possibly care about everything all the time. You would be comatose. You'd just be laying under your bed and not get anything done. So we all have things that personally touch us personally that we care about. It makes sense that these characters would care about this issue more than say like toppling the world government. Which I can't remember if I was saying this the first part of this reaction or after the break, but this feels like a way to motivate the characters to get into the revolution. Because I was talking about how like the revolution is going to become bigger and bigger in the story, right? That's right. I'm actually going to use some of my treasure to benefit somebody else. Mind blowing. Absolutely mind blowing. It's not about that. Wow. Her saying this is a hell of a statement. That's what I'm saying. It ain't about money. Frankie like that. Sometimes it's just the right thing to do. It doesn't matter what your relationship is to a person, right? For once, I agree with you, but get your ass up. Like he said, shut up and come on. Oh, this was crazy, man. Look at her execute Ace. This was crazy. Of course, you realize this means war. Whitebeard is going to burn this world to the ground, man. This is amazing. I can't wait for this. They're just dribbling in little pieces of future stories, right? But it does explain why nobody's here because they know the shit's about to break out, man. Shit's about to go down. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Burn this shit to the ground. This ain't no game. I mean, if he's just gonna do a couple of years, Whitebeard would probably be like, all right, let him ride it out. But you gonna kill his ass? Another thing I talked about was how Luffy said his brother wouldn't want him to rescue him. His little brother rescue him. That'd be embarrassing, man. You can't do that to him. But what about if he's gonna die? If they're gonna take his head? Because anybody can get got. That's the first thing we learn in life, right? I don't care how much of a badass you are. Anybody can get got under the right circumstances, including Ace. So, including Luffy. In certain circumstances, he's by himself, get jumped by a bunch of powerful people. It could happen, Get the ice prism thing on him, Or somebody like Blackbeard who can take away powers. It could totally happen. Get off my face. I'm not rubber like you. How would you put up with that, man? I was still believing that he was going to hit back to the old place, but then we saw the number 2. It's like, well, he can't possibly screw that up, can he? He's actually following directions for once. It's amazing. Very high strung. You're a disgrace to the Straw Hats. Calm your ass down. Your skeleton, bony ass down. Jesus. Oh, Jesus Christ. I have to sit through that joke twice. Jesus. We're all coming to the same place. I still think Zoro somehow is going to end up not showing up there. That'd be hilarious. I can't wait to see what this crazy bastard does next. 17, is that her? Because you would think the mermaid would be last, the giant would be second to last. That's how I would do it. Yeah. Yep, looks like she's next. I didn't remember this part for some reason. Oh yeah, it's because it's at the very end. I was probably preoccupied with the other shit. Well, very annoying, but at least thank God I had recorded over half of the episode. I had to take a break. Thank God I recorded over half because if I had lost the whole episode, I've been really annoyed. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to the character corner, which I've already done. Timey-wimey shit, right? Alrighty, here we go at the character corner, and this is weird because I just found out my video file got corrupted. Sometimes it'll tell me it's recording, it's not recording. Essentially, is what happened. So I'm gonna have to go back and redo the last 8 minutes of the video you just watched, what you have already seen. So that's annoying, but I might as well go. I've already called up the character corner. I might as well go ahead and do the character corner. Then I will go back and actually re-record my reaction to what you've already seen. So just convoluted ass space time continuum ass shit. So we're watching shit out of order. God, this is what I hate the most about reaction channels. Like you only get one chance to watch something for the first time. That's it. That's all you get. You get it or you don't get it. That's it. And I hate that. I come from a filmmaking background. You get multiple takes. If it doesn't work, we'll do another take. That's what I'm used to. This, you have to get it right every single time or you're screwed. I hate that, man. And it's just, it really blows. And considering how many videos I do a week, like, literally, counting all these full reactions, I do literally dozens of videos a week. It is relatively rare for this to happen. I've been much more careful about this because there's a counter which can lie to you, but then there's also there's 2 ways it shows you it's recording, and both of them have to show you it's recording or it's not recording. The counter lies to you. It'll show the counter and it will not be recorded. But I've learned I have to also look at the directory and see the file and make sure that file number is growing at the same time the counter is growing. Both things have to be true for it to work. So I've gotten a lot better about this. I used to do this all the time and I was really getting screwed, right? But I've gotten a lot better and I checked both and I just missed it this time. I didn't look up and make sure what was happening. So that's annoying. But fortunately, I had already stopped reacting to the episode after the commercial break. So I didn't lose an entire episode. That would have really pissed me off. So anyway, it doesn't happen that often, so I guess I can't cry too much. But anyway, let's get to the character corner. Since we're talking so much about Ace, it looks like I did improve his numbers to reflect the 18-point scale. I didn't give him a bravery score. He seems pretty damn brave, right? So, like, we're going to have to at least give him a 17 until we know more. So we'll give him 17 bravery. Cunning is where I think is where it should be. I think because he got captured. That's stupid. He's not very funny. You know, I think we need to do better with this because to be a second in command, you have to be pretty damn loyal. We're inferring. We're not. This isn't an informed attribute. We're inferring from what we've seen in the fact he has that position. For instance, if somebody was a college professor and you had not met this character, but they were a college professor, would it be safe to assume they're fairly smart? Yes. Is that definitive? No. So that's kind of what I'm going with here, right? Like, it's safe to assume he's fairly trustworthy and he's loyal, or he wouldn't have that high position. But we'd have no proof. So we'll just go ahead and make that a 14 for now, with that in mind. Friendship, I still don't know about. Zoro's going to lose a cunning, because it's just idiotic to let a bubble block your vision. You're a moron. Nami. Trustworthiness. We can finally elevate this to 12. Look, she said it, and I believe her. And friendship, we can finally get this up to 16. She said that, I believe her. Wow, I never thought I would see the day where these numbers, either one of these numbers would go up, but here we are. She means it. Price is no object. And for somebody like her to say price is no object, and to mean it, and I believe that she means it, that's something, right? Especially for a person you barely just met. You know, I know they kind of bonded a little bit, and you know, I tried to help her too, but for somebody like her, she's, you know, I was very surprised. I have to admit, I was pretty damn surprised. We got to increase Luffy's cool factor because he's starting to get a reputation where people think he's cool whether he is or not, right? So this is more like a reputation bonus. He's cool. People are talking about he's a crazy bastard. I want to meet this crazy bastard. I want to see how crazy he actually is. And he's nuts. So he is, yes. All right, I think we're good. Everybody else is pretty much the same, I think. I do like Frankie's shoot first, ask questions later. America metaphor, right? Alrighty, well. Now I guess I'll go back and record the second half of the episode. God, I'm so annoyed. I hate duplicating work.